Alright guys, so now we are going to correct the practice exam number 1. Question number 1. On this question number 1, they're asking you to find, on this question number 1, and let me correct that in my head. So, define a list of elements, which one is or are natural numbers. And based on the definition, so I would like to remind you that you need to check the definitions. Check the definition, okay? Well, the answer would have been D. 5 is the only natural number, so the answer is going to be D. Question number 2. You have locate the point on a rectangular coordinate system. So when you look at your question number 2, if I decide to graph to represent a rectangular system, and I'm going to plot the point negative 11 y equals 15, so negative 11 will be right here, and y equals 15, y is positive, will be right there, so my point will be definitely defined to be in quadrant 2, okay? Therefore, the answer is going to be A. Okay? Because I would like to remind you that we're going quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and right there, quadrant 4. So my point is definitely in quadrant 2. Now, give the value of x-man, x-mean, y-mean, and y-max for the screen, given the value of x scale and y scale. You have a 1 for the x scale and y for the y scale, so, and 1 for y scale. Therefore, you can definitely see that for the x-max, which will be right here, x-max, and then you will have y-max, x-mean right here, and then you will have y-max and y-mean. Definitely at the end of the day, you will have for the problem number 3, the answer is going to be B. Okay? Because when you look at B, you have plus 15. Okay, and remember 1, 1, 2, 3, up to plus 15 for x max, negative 5 for y for x mean, and same thing for y. All right, so now let's move on to the problem number 4. And the problem number 4 is find the length of the end side of a right triangle. So if you have a right triangle, what you need to do is using the Pythagorean Theorem. In that case, A and B are the leg, and you know that the sum of the square of each leg is supposed to be equal to the square of the hypotenuse, and they're asking you to find the value of C. So therefore, you can express C by taking the square root, and so therefore you need to take the square root on the left side of your equation. That becomes C equal A squared plus B squared. And so now you can definitely substitute A and B inside this formula. You must be very careful because you are dealing with A and B being themselves square root also. So you are going to have basically C equal the square root of 6 for A. So square root of 6 squared plus square root of 19. And the square root, it's squared also. And so end up to have the square root of 6 plus 19, which is the square root of 25, and the square root of 25 is 5. Therefore, the answer was D for number 4. Number 5, the table is list how financial aid income cut off in dollars for a family of 4 have changed over time. Use midpoint formula to approximate the financial aid cutoff for 1985. Well, the midpoint formula is supposed to be when you have 2 points, point number 1 and point number 2 defined by the coordinate x1, x1, y1, x2, y2. You end up to have x1 plus x2 divided by 2 and y1 plus y2 divided by 2. So when you're doing that with 19 80 and 1990, you end up to have a midpoint in dollar regarding for the cutoff in dollar. That is going to be for problem number 5 equal to 36. I'll let you calculate that. $36,875. And so the answer was B for number 5. I'll let you calculate that. You will see it's very easy. Let's move on to the problem number 6. Problem number 6, when you have the set of solution of x such that x is less than -10, well, that implies that basically you have a number line. You have 0 is right here, so -10 will be on the left of your 0, and you know that x is supposed to be less, so all the value of x are right here. And so you have no equal in your, you have absolutely no equal on your inequality, so therefore you're supposed to have a parenthesis. And so now you are going to write that, the interval notation, -infinity, -10, always a parenthesis next to infinity and a parenthesis to -10. So the answer for problem number 6 was D. Problem number 7, tell whether the relation is a function or not. Well, I will let you look at the definition, so please, that is just applying a definition. And when you apply the definition, you will be able to define that the problem number 7, it's B, it's not a function, okay? It's not a function. And I will advise you to look at these 2 points right here. All right, graph of a linear function. On the problem number 8, you got y equal, which is f of x, equal -5x, -5x. So right away, you can use the slope, which is -5, which is -5 divided by 1, meaning that you will have to go down 5 units and go to the right 1 unit from the y-intercept. The y-intercept is a point related to when x equals 0, and when x equals 0, in that case, y is also equal 0. So basically, from the point 0, 0, which is right here, the y-intercept, well, you will have 0, 0. You will have to go down 5, so up to here, and then go 1 unit right there. And then now it's very easy to graph your line. All right, so I graph my line, and then I compare my line with the different multi-choice I have, and obviously the answer for problem number 8 is going to be D. Problem number 9. On the problem number 9, the question is find the 0 of f, and finding the 0 of f, it is finding the value of x that makes the function f of x equal to 0. Therefore, in that case, you end up to looking at 1/3 over x equals 0. So, therefore, x equals 0. And so, the answer for this question was A. All right. Problem number 2. Problem number 10. Find the slope of the line passing through the 2 given points. So, problem number 10. We're having the point -8, 8. I'm going to call that the point number 1. And we're having the point number 2, 5, 8. And we're having the point number 2, 5, 8. Based on the definition of the slope, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, I can fairly say that the slope is going to be equal to 8 minus 8 divided by 5 minus -8. And that gives me 0 divided by 13, which is 0. So the slope is 0. The answer was C. Write the slope-intercept form of the line that passes through the given point with the slope m. Well, you have on the problem number 11, a slope equals 0. And you know that the line with slope equals 0 is going through the point 3, negative 3. 3, negative 3. Well, if it is a line you're looking for, you know that it's going to be mx plus b. Now, because the slope is equal to 0, m being equal to 0, your slope is going to, your expression of y is going to be 0 multiplied by x plus b, meaning that y equal b. And because I know that that line, and I know basically y does not depend on x, meaning that no matter what value of x, y will be the same, which means we are dealing with an horizontal line right there. That is an horizontal line. And I know that this horizontal line is going through the point 0, negative 3. That means that b equal negative 3. And so y equal negative 3 is the expression of your equation. And therefore, the answer was C. Find the slope intercept form of the line satisfying the given condition through 2, negative 8 and negative 5, 3. So on number 12, you're looking for a line. So therefore, y equal mx plus b. And this line is going through 2 points. The point number 1, 2, negative 8. And the point number 2, negative 5, 3. And negative 5, 3. Negative 5, 3, 2, negative 8. So the first thing I want to do is calculate the slope. So my slope, if I call that the point number 1 and that the point number 2, it's going to be 3 minus negative 8 over negative 5 minus 2. I end up to have 3 plus 8. 3 plus 8 equal 11. 11 divided by minus 5 minus 2. Negative 5 minus 2, it is minus 7. The answer is negative 11 over 7. Therefore, y equal negative 11 over 7x plus b. If I want to find, or first of all, I'm going to look my multi-choice, and I can see that D could be a solution, not B, not A, and not C. Therefore, I can not even try to spend my time to work on the value of B, trying to substitute the point 1 or the point 2 inside this equation. I directly can say that the solution is going to be D. Write the equation on the form y equal mx plus b. So on the number 13, we got 0.7. So I'm going to write that as a 7 over 10 x minus 4 over 10 y equal 7 over 10. Why am I doing this? Because what I'm looking for is y standing by itself. But by transforming my decimal into fraction, I realize that my LCD is 10. And if my LCD is 10, if I multiply the right side by the LCD and the left side by the LCD, I end up to get rid of the 10. Therefore, I end up to have to deal with 7x minus 4y equals 7. And now if I want to isolate y, well, there is different possibility, but the thing that what I'm going to do is I'm going to first add 4y both sides. Now, y is on the right, but I have a 7, so I'm going to subtract 7 on the right. So that means I need to subtract by 7 on the left. Now I'm getting a 7x minus 7 equal 4y. And if I want to have y by itself, I just need to divide by 4 everywhere. And therefore, the answer was supposed to be y equal 7 over 4x minus 7 over 4. And for this problem, 7 over 4x minus 7 over 4. And for this problem, the solution was B. I'm going to stop right here for this first part, and I'm going to make a second part for the to finish to correct this practice exam.